In the late 1990s, while attending the same high school, a young Volodymyr Zelensky met a girl named Olena Kiyashko. Little did he know that they will meet again at a later time in life. Despite their different paths, Zelensky pursuing acting and comedy, and Olena studying architecture. Fate brought them together and they'd eventually married in 2003 after dating for 8 years. Since then, they've navigated life together, with Zelensky transitioning from actor to president of Ukraine. How has their relationship evolved in the face of political challenges? And what is life like for them today? Before the war, Zelensky was a household name in Ukraine, but not for politics. You might be surprised to learn that his previous career had nothing to do with leading a country or fighting wars. In fact, he was an entertainer, an actor and comedian beloved by millions. And believe it or not, he had a pretty decent career before he decided to take on the post as the president of a country. He rose to fame playing a high school teacher who accidentally becomes president in the satirical show Servant of the People. It was as if fate was giving him a hint. But of course, Zelensky might have ignored it, and understandably so, because a comedian turned president only happens in movies. Little did anyone know that this fiction would turn into reality. In 2019, he shocked the world by running for president and winning the post. It seems like people were intrigued and hopeful because of his platform. Basically, he rallied his campaign leaning on his platform, which was built on anti-corruption and a desire to bring fresh leadership to Ukraine. And it seems like he convinced everyone and made history by not just winning, but also beating seasoned politicians. But here's the kicker. Zelensky did it with relative ease, taking home more than 70% of the vote in the rerun. However, this is only part of the other amazing things he achieved after running for officer. But he never imagined that his role as president would soon be shaped by a brutal war. Zelensky's life is more than just politics, it's also about love. His relationship with Olena Zelenska began most romantically. She is a scriptwriter, so you could say they match perfectly. Back then, the future president wooed his current wife by borrowing her Basic Instinct VHS movie, showing that even combat heroes can be quirky romantics at heart. And by the looks of it, his advances paid off. It didn't take that long before the two were married in 2003 and started a beautiful family together. They had 2 children, Alexandra, born in 2004, and Kirilo, born in 2013. Before becoming president, Zelensky was a father first, and there's no doubt that he valued his family above all else. So much so that his love for Olena and their children was at the heart of his life. Zelensky always prioritized his family, making time for them no matter how busy life got. But all that changed the moment war broke out in 2022. However, fate decided to test his love for his country and family when the devastating war tore everything he was trying to protect. In February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine and everything changed. Zelensky went from comedian turned president to wartime leader virtually overnight. While the rest of the world watched in admiration, one aspect of his life was torn apart: his family. Zelensky made the difficult decision to send his wife and children to a secure location for their safety, as they have become one of the main target of the enemy. Because of this, they can only meet with each other for a couple days at a time. His wife even described the emotions she had during the early stages of the battle. At the beginning of the invasion, she described her emotional state as one of perpetual adrenaline. With time, she realized she needed to settle down and start living in the current conditions. As it has for millions of Ukrainians, there's no disputing the toll the conflict has had on her and her family, and when asked about her children, she burst into tears. Meanwhile, he remained in Kiev, risking his life every day to ensure his country's survival. Surely it was one of the hardest things he had to do. But as a husband, a father, and president, Zelensky knows that to keep everyone he loves safe, he needs to be on the front lines, making sure that everything is taken care of, at least to the best that he can. And so, this made Zelensky's story unique, not just because of his leadership, but because of the immense personal sacrifice he's made. He's not just battling Russian forces, he's battling the heartache of being separated from the people he loves most. And he's not alone. Thousands of Ukrainian families have been torn apart by this war. Zelensky's pain mirrors the suffering of countless parents, children, and loved ones scattered across the globe, waiting for the day they can reunite. In case you are wondering what is Zelensky's current mission, well, it's securing worldwide backing to bring this war to a close. He's been going to Western countries, presenting his victory plan, expecting that with enough military and financial assistance, Ukraine can reclaim its independence, and quickly. Zelensky knows exactly what's at risk. It's not just about defeating an invading force. It's about guaranteeing that millions of Ukrainians, including his own family, may return home safely. Zelensky is resolved to see the war end by next year, restoring peace to his motherland. Even as he leads his country throughout its darkest days, Zelensky never loses sight of his family. He dreams of a day when the war will be over, when he can sit down at a dinner table with Olena and their children and live a normal life again. Olena, meanwhile, has shown incredible strength, standing by her husband from afar. In interviews, she's admitted how painful it's been, but she knows Zelensky's mission is bigger than them. For her, supporting him means supporting Ukraine's fight for freedom. The First Lady also mentioned how the ongoing turmoil within their country helped strengthen their relationship. She emphasized how being able to support her husband made her realize that he made the right choice of marrying Zelensky. And though the war is nothing but heartbreaking, Olena and her husband stand tall in protecting their country and people. Despite the overwhelming challenges, Zelensky remains hopeful. He believes that with the right support, Ukraine can emerge victorious, and families, his included, can finally reunite in peace. For Zelensky, the fight isn't just about defeating an enemy. It's about giving Ukraine's future generations the chance to grow up in a free and secure country. Zelensky's journey from comedian to wartime leader is a story of one in a generation. As Ukraine fights for its freedom, Zelensky's ultimate goal is clear: to return home. Not just as a leader, but as a father and a husband. He wants nothing more than to see his children live in a country where peace reigns once again. What do you think about Zelensky's remarkable journey? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories.